Hey, folks. So it's been 3 years since I held that retirement ceremony and crossed the ceremonial brow for the final time in my career. And in the 3 years since I've been swallowing the anchor, it's been a voyage of self discovery and it's had its ups and downs, kind of a roller coaster ride of sorts. I've had friends tell me it took them as little as 2 years to figure out what they wanted to do with the rest of their life, so called when we grow up. And I've had people tell me it's taken them 4. I've had other people tell me it's taken them 5. So I'm approaching the end of year 3. It was a little over 3 years ago I had that retirement ceremony, and my official retirement date was at midnight at the end of New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. So so my actual official retirement date is um, the 1st of January of 2022. So, what have I done in the almost 3 years since then? Well, I'm going to tell you. Right out the gate, I had a full time job as a Navy contractor. And at the same time, I had a part time remote job with a small firm up in DC. After about 20 months, I wasn't really enjoying the full time job. So I left and somewhat on acrimonious terms. And uh, although, you know, I left to pursue new opportunities because I went in to quit and and then I quit. I left. I was done. And then about a month later, the remote job vanished. I got laid off. At least that's what they tell me. But yeah, in good faith, I got laid off. So what did I have happen after that? Well, I had my next door neighbor is a good friend of mine, and he happens to work for a major financial institution in the area. So he helped me get a contract job working in a call center, and it sounded great on the face of it. I had never worked in a call center before. I was told it was inbound calls. I went, "Wow, at least I'm not going to be doing outbound calls." And the problem was, as I was processing requests from people, and about 95% of them were people who barely have a pot to piss in, and they're struggling. They're trying to take out a loan from their retirement plan, or they're trying to um, cash out because they just got fired, and every company has its own different rules on how they do 401ks and IRAs and all that stuff. So I'd be on the computer, I'd pull up their plan, I'd go, okay, well, the computer's not letting me do this, and here's why. Uh, and I got cussed at. I got told I was incompetent. I had people call my supervisors to complain about me, things like that. And the supervisors were, yeah, it happens. We'll just erase those bad marks off your metrics and everything because we know you had a bad experience and you didn't deserve that and things like that, right? So, I mean, great bunch of people to work with. Um, I mean, I love them all right off the bat. It was a great environment, office environment. It was just the put it on the headphones, have the speakerphone on, and as soon as I'm done with one call, you have not even a second to breathe, and the very next call in the queue is coming right at you. So you don't get a break for 8 straight hours, and it's all people having their worst days of their lives, kind of thing. I just wasn't gonna do that. I lasted 3 months. On my way out, my supervisor told me that he was surprised that I stayed as long as I did. He thought I would have been out before the end of training. So they also told me I was the best new hire they ever had, which tears me apart because I demonstrated that I'm good. And when I put my mind to something, I am good. But Then after that, more applications, more rejections. At this point, it's all jobs that I don't have connections with. So, of course, they're going to look at me, and I thought I knew how to write a good resume, but the positions I'm putting in for, they don't want people with a master's degree, and they don't want people who are old. So I'm overqualified. Every morning I look at my emails and yet another rejection. And the rejections always start with this: thank you for your interest, comma. If you open that email, it's going to say the exact same thing. Doesn't matter who you applied to. It's going to be thank you for your interest, comma. Then the paragraph starts. However, we have decided to pursue other candidates for this position. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of your endeavors, or something like that. So, best endeavored. My wife's a WWE fan. I'm not so much, but best endeavored is kind of a euphemism for sawed off, screw off, piss off, that kind of thing. So, all right, no taken. I won't apply for you anymore. As far as I'm concerned, I lost out. So I've tried various strategies in the past few months. One of them was giving them an itemized list of why they should hire me on my cover sheet. Things like, I've got a pension, I've got disability. Because I have both of those things, I will never qualify for unemployment insurance. So that's not something you have to pay in if you hire me. I'm a disabled veteran, so you'll get a tax benefit because I'm over 30%. I've tried that a few times. Hasn't I didn't even get a thank you for your interest. I just got ghosted when I sent those ones in. So maybe that's too aggressive. I guess I don't know. But the good news is I still have employment. The problem is I'm a 1099 contractor, and I'm just getting sporadic work. I'm working on some major artificial intelligence projects for a company, and it's wonderful work. And when I get on a project and I get assignments and I do the things, I get paid 20 to $25 an hour, and it's great when I get it. But there are literally thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people who are working as 1099s for this particular organization. And I've learned a hell of a lot about AI. Basically, AI, if you don't know how it works, we've got computer models and we're training them. And we're training them on photo recognition, we're training them on how to answer prompts, we're trying to make the models smarter. It's really interesting and groundbreaking work, and I'm very proud and happy and thankful to the good Lord that I have even a small role to play in this. It is fun, you know. But the problem is when I log into the platform, I may have projects for me to work on, and I may work on it, and then my queue gets empty because lots of other people are working on the same thing. So I might get two, maybe I get a good day where I get 10 things and I put in a full day's work, $25 an hour. It's not bad when those days happen. But then there's days where I might get one or two projects and then the queue's empty and I'm waiting again for the next opportunity to do something. So the way I liken it is to being a day laborer showing up at Lowe's or Home Depot in the parking lot at dark 30 and hoping to get a 1 or 2 or maybe 3 day gig pouring concrete for somebody and getting paid in cash. Except I don't get paid in cash, 1099. So it gets reported to the IRS, so they're going to get theirs, obviously. So that leads me, I guess, to my next thing. I have some political opinions about this, and um, on Facebook, some weeks ago, I had a moment of frustration, accompanied by a little bit of liquid courage, if you will. And I said some disparaging things about certain demographics who seem to be getting all the deals right now. Well, I'll just put it this way: it's a demographic that cost the Democrats the election. Just going to say that. All right. So, um, when I retired 3 years ago, Biden wasn't even a year in, and being a Hispanic disabled veteran actually meant something. Apparently, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Supposed to get veterans preference. Well, where's my veterans preference? Where's my jobs? When am I getting hired again for something that doesn't involve sales? Because that was the last full-time thing I attempted a few months ago. Was I went and got my insurance license, and I worked for a month as an agent, wasn't able to make a single close. It felt very much like I was living the life of the guys in Glengarry Glen Ross. If you're a Blake and you can and you got it and you can close all the things, always be closing, the ABC, or that whole scene in that movie, then go for it. If that's your thing, and there is a place for sales people. It just, after a month, I couldn't even get one close, and I'm supposed to get one close a week after visiting 100, businesses, knocking on their doors, basically going, "Hey, we offer you this product, uh, and this would be great, and it would help you out with taxes and such." There's a whole script for this, and I'm not going to divulge names of companies or anything like that because I signed NDAs, but I can at least talk to the experience. And there's lots of insurance companies out there. There's lots of agencies, and I didn't know what being an agent was. In my mind, uh, the insurance agents I knew worked in an office, and when I did something boneheaded like break the window or my dad smashed up the car, we'd go to the office and the friendly insurance agent would process the claim. I thought I was going to be doing that. I didn't think I was going to be doing door to door sales. So, working in an office, processing claims, if I have the education and license and everything to do it, sure, I would have been perfectly fine. I would have been happy as a pig in slop. But um, I ended up learning quickly I was going to spend one day of my week making outbound calls, calling people who don't want to be called. I got cussed out plenty of times on the phone. Um, Spend the rest of the week putting miles on my car, driving all over the place. Knock knock, who's there? That's that wasn't going to be me, and I'm certainly not going to do anything. I still get things in my LinkedIn, Indeed. Oh, you could do this remote. I'm not going to spend my entire day, every day for the rest of my life, calling people just to have all of them hang up the phone on me. It's that's not what I'm going to do. So, I felt like, well, it was a learning experience. I learned a lot. So then, let's see here. Yeah, basically during that 1 month, I probably spent $1,500 on gas, lodging, and car maintenance, and I earned maybe $900. So it's um, and I got trainees young enough to be my kid who are already landing deals and making gigantic wads of cash, and I'm not making those wads of cash. I went, uh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm too old to. I'm the old dog, and maybe the old dog can't learn some new tricks sometimes. So that's where that went. So where does that bring me? Well, honestly, I don't have a dang clue. I know a few things though, and I think I said them earlier. I'll never get unemployment because I already have a pension. I'm getting paid for the rest of my life. So I am not ever going to be eligible to receive unemployment. I think I also said I don't need benefits because I have most of them. I get all my stuff at the VA. I'm paying into TRICARE, but neither me nor my wife have used TRICARE. I went to NAS Jax one time, and that was 3 years ago. So um, I'm about to cancel that. I'm just gonna lean on the VA. My daughter's already 21, so she's aged out of having any benefits on my account, and right now it's just a waste of money. So I, I'm going to go on TRICARE tomorrow, and I'm going to cancel it because I don't need it. The VA is doing everything for both of us anyway. So we got that, and let's see. Um, yeah, I said earlier I'm 45. It means I'm overqualified. Now there's after talking with a lot of friends and getting advice. Here's some things. Don't necessarily throw all your stuff out there. And I actually have a mind to just wipe out my LinkedIn, my Indeed, my ZipRecruiter, and just go high school diploma, served in the Navy, work some odd jobs after. Maybe I'll get invited to an interview. It might actually be the fact that my master's degree is on my LinkedIn profile that's going to keep me from getting even entry level work, which really at this point I'm perfectly happy to do. I recently applied to work at a national oil change place, and I only left it at bachelor's degree, and I manually filled out their form on Workday. I tried to leave it at high school diploma, but they wouldn't. Somehow the program wouldn't let me do it, so I put in my. I went to the Naval Academy and I got a bachelor's degree, and then I put in the comments. I didn't even submit a resume. I just went, "Hey, I'm retired, got a pension, got disability. I'm good. I'm happy to work for $15 an hour. I like to work with my hands. I'm a car guy. And it's true. I do my oil changes myself, even to this day. I change my brake pads, which is coming up because my car is starting to give me indications that the brake pads need to get replaced. I do all that stuff. I rotate my tires. You know, I can make a broken engine run without much effort because I learned all those skills as a kid. I'm a mechanically inclined guy. I like cars. I tell them all that. Now that was just a few days ago when I put that in. So give it a couple weeks, maybe. Um, what I do know is um, my wife had the windshield on her car replaced, so I applied to be a safe light technician, and I put all my stuff, including my master's, in. And the very next day, I got the rejection email, and that was probably just their AI or their AI bot spitting it out, like looking at the thing and just, you know, you got the wrong words, you're out. So it's probably just that. But, um, but yeah, that's kind of where I am. So uh, that's my new strategy is I'm only going to put my academic qualifications that are commensurate with the job that I'm actually seeking. And if all they see is I graduated high school, then maybe I'm actually going to get in the door finally. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. The other thing, I've applied for about 20 GS jobs over the past couple years, and the best I've gotten is eligible but not referred to the hiring manager, which means basically big middle finger. It's basically the OPM version of thank you for your interest. Dot dot dot. So I can't even get a job with Irvin R. Shyster. He's the last one I applied for, as in the IRS. They've got plenty of vacancies, but apparently they're going to just leave them open because they don't want me for some reason. And um, probably for those GS jobs, it's probably like with anything else. Uh, it's who you know. If somebody knows you, they'll help you get in, and that's what happens. Or from what I've observed from my time as a contractor, is a lot of those promotions with GSs happen internally. So they have to put the job out there. They have to advertise it on usajobs.gov, but they already know full well that they're doing an internal promotion. So internal hire, you can't do anything about it. I think it's rotten, but that's that's what it is. So how do you even get in to a GS job? I have no idea because everything I've been told about how to write a resume for a GS job hasn't helped me one iota. And with that, well, all griping aside, I've decided I'm at a point where after leveraging my thrift savings account heavily to get through this whole year and and a lot of other things, I'm just throwing my hands in the air. It's time for me to make my own money. And the good news is my wife is an entrepreneur who has not one but two monetized YouTube channels. So she gets a check every month now. They're not the same every month because it all has to do with how many views and subscribers and all these other metrics. And I'm relatively new at this, but I'm at a point where I think I know just enough to be dangerous. I've had a YouTube channel since 2010. I've You can go on it and it's at Eric Coop. Go on it, you'll see some videos from when I was on USS Constitution. You'll see a couple of videos of me riding in a helicopter or on Fat Albert at the Rhode Island Air Show. And you'll see some stuff that I've been trying to do with a project I call the DD214, where I'm trying to start a podcast of sorts for people who are transitioning from the military into civilian life and sharing their experiences. And I haven't been able to quite get it off the ground. I'm still trying to crack the code on that, but I've got that going on. I've got this going on here that I'm trying to start. And I think with the Trump administration coming in, it's going to be another 4 years of the idiots on The View, cry sacking, the people at MSLSD and all the other left leaning organizations, the people at Faux News and One America News and all those other Newsmax, all they're going to be just, it's going to be a complete, uh, let's just say Charlie Foxtrot. And if you're in the military, you know what a Charlie Foxtrot is. So, with all that being said, uh, that's why I want to bring things back into the middle. And I'm not saying this in a disingenuous way like that Bruce Springsteen commercial for Jeep during the Super Bowl a few years back. I'm saying this from, again, my point as a centrist civil libertarian, and I'm registered as a libertarian. I don't agree with the Libertarian Party on a lot of things. I'm just registered as a libertarian. That doesn't mean I vote libertarian, but my philosophy is I'm civil libertarian. I believe in people being allowed to do what they want to do without taxes, without oversight, without people complaining and ratting on you. Uh, that's what I believe in. I want to get us back to that kind of idea where we we can be who we are, and so long as we're not hurting somebody, killing somebody, causing harm, destroying the environment, even let people be. Just I don't care what my neighbors are doing as long as it doesn't affect me. Or as Ben Franklin said, the freedom to swing your fist ends where my nose begins. So that's my take on it. I'm not an oath keeper. I'm not part of any of that. I did happen to be in the area when January 6th happened, but that was because I was working at the Pentagon and uh, when that all happened. And as soon as the news broke on the January 6th resurrection, I told everybody I live in Annapolis. I'm going home before they shut down the metro, and I get stuck here for however many days. So um, that's kind of my experience with that. So basically, long and short of it was I left the Navy 3 years ago. I had no problem finding jobs. Then, when I needed to start finding jobs, it became a lot harder all of a sudden. And I think there's political reasons for it. I think there's um, age reasons for it. And I'm kind of in that gray area of sorts. I'm young enough to learn things and do a full career. I'll work until I'm in my 70s. Just give me a chance, please. And, once I find something I actually like, I'm also in a bit of a bind because if anybody looks at my LinkedIn, they're going to go, "Why is this guy only working for a month here and 3 months here and whatever?" You know, that's probably not helping either. So I guess in the coming weeks, I'm just gonna try to save my CV off of LinkedIn and the other sites, and just put Navy for 20 years, freelance writer from March until now, and um, I have a high school diploma because maybe that'll actually get me the jobs. Now, don't take that as advice. That's just advice I have been given. And this will basically, you get to a point where you've got advanced degrees. It's going to hurt you once you get to be middle aged. That's what I'm finding out. And I've heard that from more than one person. I'm not the only one going through this. So we're just going to dumb it down and we're going to get to work. They say they got all these open jobs, but they hire people who are undocumented in certain states. They hire people based on uh, I'm going to be polite about this and be very delicate about this, but on um, ethereal conceptions of biology. I think I probably said that right. The people who would hate on me don't even know what I meant by that. And um, yeah, that's it. Anyway, worst thing that's going to happen between both of our disability checks and my pension, we're going to keep the lights on. We're going to keep the roofs over our heads. We might have to subsist on ramen and maybe actually clear out the pantry and not just go buy whatever we feel like eating, tighten the belt a little bit. Uh, I'm a creative cook. I can, I've been dying to just clear out that pantry. And by clearing out the pantry, not donating canned food that nobody wants for the holidays, but actually using that stuff that we bought, all these cans of beans, cans of pumpkins, I can make things. I can whip things together. And if I'm running out of ideas, there's always the internets. So anyway, um, everything is figure outable as I've heard before. And uh, if you really want to, you just got to keep on keeping on. And with careful prudence and careful planning and careful judiciousness with your resources, the sky's the limit. So I'll get by. I got some battle scars. That's okay. We all do. Uh, but that's where I'm going to go with that. And that's what a real transition process looks like. And I don't think my transition process, as turbulent as it has been, is necessarily unique. So thanks for having a listen. Love you guys. Godspeed, open waters, and good night. Huzzah.